Welcome to my video, how I dressed like a first century Bible character as a background extra in season 5 of the TV show called The Chosen. And so this is like my video diary of being a background extra, and this is video number 3. In this video, I'm going to tell you more about the costuming process and kind of how I went overboard and what I would do differently, but I'm also still going overboard because I'm going to be a season 6 background extra, and I already went to the thrift store and already bought too much, already bought on Amazon and bought more things. So I thought I would have learned my lesson from the last time. But once you go and you experience it, you get to see what other people are wearing and kind of learn from them. And then you kind of just want to up your costume game. Is if that's your thing, by the way, I'm going to tell you some simple things because it's not everyone's thing to want to have a different costume every day. And so maybe some tips that I have might help save you some time and money. I will disclose to you, like, my stuff's pretty plain in comparison to what I saw on set and like what my new goals are. I'm not a seamstress. I'm more of a hot glue kind of person. I can cut and hot glue things and sticky double side tape type things. I'm not a seamstress, but I am going to tell you that this year I'm going to challenge myself to embroider some little things on my dress. And also, I'm going to try to sew one of those apron things that the people have been wearing. Anyhow, and then the other thing I just want to say right up front, like, keep in mind, you got to wear this for 12 hours a day. If you're there for 2 days, 5 days, whatever. And so I was there for a week, Monday through Friday, and wearing a costume. I just learned that I was so happy to try to keep it simple most days. So just kind of keeping that in mind as I go through my slideshow. So as you know, I love to have slideshows in my videos if you've been watching. And so I put some pictures together and I'm going to share those with you now. So yes, this is my DIY costumes, how I dress like a first century character. And here you can see the same outfit wore 2 days apart, and I just kind of changed my headgear, my headbands, and my belts were just a little bit different. And so I think those were towards the end of the week when I finally just learned my lesson and which it was my favorite outfit. So I will share that with you. All right. So first of all, I'm just going to disclose, like, I love costumes. Like, this is my jam. This is why I was so excited to want to go to something like this, because this is like what I love to do. I love costumes. I love costume parties. I love themes. I own a ton of costumes. And so my friends and my family are all part of that experience. All right. So here are my 4 costumes I wore. I actually did have a 5th costume for Friday. I didn't take a picture though, because it rained that day. And I got on set. It was super rainy, like super duper rainy. And my grandson was born that day. So I actually left the set early and flew back home because he was born. So these are just my 4 costumes. The first one on the left was my first day, then my second day, and then the purple one was actually my 3rd day. And the one in the yellow was my 4th day. And I know that because that was the day we filmed one of the bigger scenes. And I actually ended up in some of the backgrounds. So I will share that with you. I did borrow the green and brown dress. They're like a two-toned kind of dress. I borrowed that from my friend Betsy. Same with some of the scarves. And then the costume on the right is the one I'm going to share with you more of. That's the one I actually purchased. All of the scarves here, I just packed a lot of scarves, which I'll talk about in a minute. I bought those all at the thrift store. And so you can just never have too many scarves, I noticed, as a biblical woman. Here are some of my friends that I met on set and carpooled with and are friends with still today. And I love just sharing our picture because look at all the variety of colors. Everybody did their hair bands a little bit different. And so it's just super duper fun. So The Chosen, when you become a background extra, gives you a prop guide. And I thought I'd just snip a couple of pictures. I mean, it's probably, I don't know if it's proprietary. I mean, so many people have it at this point. But you do get a background costume prop guide. It's I saw it was very similar to the one last year and similar for this year. And so they just kind of give you some different ideas of like these tunics that you get. And then they ask you, or they allow you to dress as a Jew, a Jewish person, a Gentile, a Greek, a Roman, or a tribal person, which Syrophoenicians is that's how you say it. And the reason I show this is because when I saw this as a costume person and as somebody who always goes overboard, I was like, oh, ooh, I want to just dress like one of each. I really wanted to take one of each costume. And I want to tell you, like, if you're like that person like me, just maybe don't do that because you'll spend a lot of time and stress about it. And this is one of my costume fails, okay, that I wanted to show you. I bought this whole dress, by the way, if you look up like Ramadan dresses on Temu, you will find really long dresses. But the problem is they're like polyester. They're like $9, not a big deal. But the polyester is shiny. And I learned this after I had ordered them, that this will have reflection in the sun and things like that. And it kind of works for Roman or Greek. But even then, I saw some amazing Roman and Greek costumes on set, and they were made out of linen. So I would say stay away from the polyester. What that green thing you see on me is like a tablecloth that I found at the thrift store. And then I like bunched it all together, tied it. I bought all these cute little like Roman clips that ended up breaking. So I just wouldn't waste my time on that. And then this thing on my head is like a necklace. And again, this just wouldn't have lasted like all day on set. So I'm glad I changed my mind. I didn't do that. And again, it was just advice that I saw on the costume page about wearing polyester. Unfortunately, I had already ordered it. So I would not do that. This is just my whole lot of things that I use to pack a ton of scarves. I took 3 pairs of shoes that I found all at the thrift store, and I'll tell you more about the shoe experience here. And then I packed all my accessories, hair bands, belts, things like that. So this outfit was the one that I really liked the most, the top one, and it was made out of this underskirt that you just find on Amazon. I actually have the links for these, 3 things that I'll go ahead and put in the notes of this video. But this underskirt I wore every single day, and because you want something long enough to cover your feet. And then this blue dress I ordered, and I was just looking at it right now, and I think it might have shrunk in the washer, but it's already pretty short, so that's why that underskirt is pretty good. The other thing about this blue dress is it's pretty bright, I would say, and some people were coffee staining their clothes. I might do that with this one again. But so these were like my 2 basic staples that I ended up enjoying the most. They were the most comfortable. And then these headbands I ordered on the days I did tie my hair back were easy. And I like the stripes. They added just a little bit of color because I didn't use anything colored or patterned. So that is, and by the way, Betsy's outfits, these 2 bottom ones that she loaned me, those dresses she did also buy on Amazon, but I cannot find the link for them, but I know that she bought them on Amazon. These are some new things that I just ordered for this round. I ordered a new pair of shoes because, like I said, the shoes will really make or break your experience. And when I get off the slideshow, I'm going to show you these other shoes I bought at the thrift store. These are like recommended. As you can see, they still have a little bit of a buckle, but I really wanted the sling back. I highly, highly recommend wearing sling back shoes just for the rocky terrain, where you're walking and climbing and things like that. It's just a lot more helpful. I bought these cream colored tunics and bags, and I debated. I know this bag has metal clasp, so that I really, really wanted a crossbody, and I wasn't quite sure if I was going to borrow the bag I borrowed last year. So I bought that. I will let you know how those turn out. So this video or this section here, I just wanted to talk to you about accessories. So you could totally accessorize, and you can watch some of the videos. By the way, The Chosen has a video, a costume prop video. I'll put the link here. And they talk more about like appropriate belts made out of beads or metal and things like that. So as you can see, we all have like these rope belts and some simple bead jewelry. So it's fun. It's like fun to dress up. They're not necessary, but you certainly can have them. And let's see, and then shoes. So I found this picture of us, and it just was so great because all 4 of our shoes are showing. So you can kind of see the difference of shoes. I would definitely say Shay's shoes seemed a lot really, really comfortable. But they're like these rope looking shoes that you can find. And Shandy's shoes here were super stylish and chic. And she wore them every day. So I think they were comfortable. My shoes I found at the thrift store. They were literally like Massimo shoes from Target from however long ago, these gladiator shoes. They lasted the entire trip, but by the last day, I mean, they were trashed. The hardest part for me on the shoes is that like it can make or break your day. Like the first day, I just saw people with blisters and had to sit out. And like you just cannot underestimate how much walking you're going to do and be in those shoes. I personally brought like two or three pairs of shoes so that I could even just switch them out in between. So carrying a pair of flip-flops in your bag or something just to change your shoes while you're not filming is a really great tip. And later, I'll talk about like putting things in your car, keeping backup things in your car. In another video, you can do that. I will talk about doing that because you don't want to carry around a bunch of extra shoes in your bag. But like I said, you really, really want to take care of your feet. And I highly recommend taking moleskin because you will get hot spots and possibly blisters, even if you've broken in your shoes. So that's what I recommended. You need to, get shoes that are going to pass as first century appropriate. But there was a scene we filmed and they were like, let me look at your shoes, let me look at your shoes, because they were filming with people walking and they just needed like 10 or 15 people to walk in that area, but they were like, let me see your shoes. So it's not a huge, I wouldn't say it's like a deal breaker. I saw people wearing really comfy shoes, modern day shoes that they had to wear, and just wore really long tunics and just did the best they could. So like I said, that is what can take you out. And then I want to talk about bags. So bags are going to be part of this. You have to take a bag because this is like what you want to put your sunscreen in and chapstick in and whatever else that you need, snacks, bottled water, things like that. And every single person has a bag. So you want to get a bag that I personally prefer a crossbody. It's just better for your back. But some people carried one on their shoulder. You can see the ones on the table here, like the stripes, and you can buy like corduroy or linen bags, kind of like boho bags you can search. The bag I borrowed from Betsy, which I love. I'm not 100% sure I'm going to be able to borrow it again, but I hope so. But she made hers, which was fantastic. So that's more about the bags. And I just got these pictures of the Chosen. I actually don't even know if I'm supposed to do that, but this was a picture that I love looking at. It's so funny. They just posted it recently, but I love looking at it just for inspiration. Like, look at all the fun textures, their belts, their bags. I love the neck textures, like here on Eden's dress, which is going to be something I'm going to attempt to do. And then here, like how you see Mother Mary, how she has like this cutout in the front. And so this is like typical like Chosen costuming. And so since this is my second year, I feel like I want to go for some of those extra elements. And so I put pictures here of the guys. Also just like where you cut the edges and make it look a little more rough, that I noticed some of that when I was noticing the costumes, and those rough edges are really great. So even if you're buying like a finished piece from Amazon, you can kind of cut the seam and then fringe it, and it just makes it look a little more frayed. So that's what I'm going to plan to do. So what I would say is, let me stop my screen share. I think the safest thing to do, or like the easiest thing to do, and I did see people wear the same costume every day. I know I said that I would do that now. I'm only going for 3 days next time, so I should probably just be reasonable and think of that too. But the safest thing is like picking an outfit that's Jewish and Gentile, and you can easily swap it out. But again, if you love costumes and you're going to go all out with Roman and Caesar, or I'm sorry, Greek, do it. Like I saw people do it, and it was super fun and creative. The last thing I was going to do is just remind you that, like, if you're going to be an extra, you spend like the most of your time with your fellow background extras, and like just enjoying the creativity of the entire bunch is really just a fun part of this experience. And then the last couple things of just keeping it, smart and affordable. If you decide to wear the same outfit every day, take Febreze. I would still take some backup things. That's just me, who I am, like in case your costume gets spilled on or anything like that. But you can take some Febreze and do that. I do want to say, like, I would try to follow the color guidelines. Before I was like, can't, like you see everybody wearing a lot of different bright colors. But I saw this woman, I got selected to film closer up on one particular day. And because I have darker features, and this other woman did too. But she was wearing a really, really bright red dress, and it was flowy. It looked like Middle Eastern type of dress, but it just did not follow the guidelines. And they came and asked her to move into a different spot, and they were trying to be really nice about it. And so when they did that, she was just not going to be in the scene, which was just such a bummer because um, if she had like followed the color codes, and we were like up close to the main scene that was going on. So you just never know. And I have seen also people wear like costumes, like from the party store costumes. And again, they still got to be on set, but they were just like in different, they out of scene, out of area for sure. So um anyway, so I would just say following the color guide is the most important part for sure. And then yeah, I think that's all I have about that. So I wanted to just show you some things about what I just recently bought. So I did buy these sandals yesterday at the thrift store because I feel like, they don't have any buckles or anything, but they don't have the back strap. So I'm mostly using these as my backup, and I'm currently wearing them every day because they have this in the middle and the thong in the middle, and I just don't want to get blisters. So I do recommend taking two pairs of shoes, two or three. Also, it like rained a lot one day, and if that day had rained, in the middle of the week, it would have like just ruined your shoes and things like that. So taking that. The other thing about, let me grab some stuff here. I bought two more belts yesterday at the thrift. So these, and I'm planning like where the buckle is, I plan to just buckle it, and then I would just hide it or cover it with a scarf. And then I'd still have my ropes that I had. And I like to put more than one belt on. Like I like to tie a scarf, a little leather, a little something else, so kind of layering. And then this is some fabric that I bought at the thrift store. Again, I think it's like some sort of blanket. And this is the what I'm going to cut up to try to sew on my other costume. So I have a whole pile of stuff right here. Tons of scarves. And it's again, it's just part of the fun of getting ready and getting excited and playing around with your stuff. So I hope you are having a fun time. If you're planning to be an extra, that you're just having a great time and just having fun. So, all right. I hope to see you soon, and leave in the comments anything else you want to know about being a background extra. Talk to you soon. Bye.